Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show. Chris is working hard. He's got all kinds of shit jobs to do because he also does more than just sit on this couch and chat absolute biff about Liverpool. He's a businessman. And we've got Steve, he's also a businessman. You're a businessman.
I'm all
like
business.
Jay-Z.
All business, all the time.
See you. We've got John and Jamie with us as well. So let's talk through Liverpool taking on Manchester City this weekend. Before we get stuck into it though, we do have a graphic. Now, we've done this for a few weeks now. I think we basically, I'll be honest, we shit it out a little bit if I'm perfectly honest, you know. But this is prepared by Mr. Pajak. It's going to be presented to you by Steve Hall. We've got like roughly 6 facts or so about Manchester City ahead of this game.
Yep, here we go. And we're on. So yeah,
You just provide your own sound effect.
Yeah.
If only you got the transition at the right time.
I hope I did. Fix that for me, sorry, Ned. So yeah, Liverpool are unbeaten against the top 6 so far this season. We all knew that, you know, 1-5, drew 4, best record by far against top 6, which does bode well. Slightly negative. Liverpool have played 4 Premier League games against Man City at the Etihad, in which Sergio Aguero has played, and he's happened to score in all 4 of those, and he's going to play this weekend. So, yeah, there's one negative. Again, let's flip it over. Pajak's done this. Positive. City haven't kept a clean sheet in 12 against Liverpool, conceded 23. Obviously, they won 2, drew 4, lost 6. We've pretty good record against them in recent times, especially under Jurgen Klopp. Coutinho, who's been crap recently, you know, you get that team, don't you know, you always score against. Well, his is very much Man City. He scored 4 times against them, including a couple of absolute worldies, so hopefully he gets back into form by doing that. Man City have lost 5 of their last 6 league games against Liverpool, which again bodes well. And then finally, Jurgen Klopp has won more times against Pep Guardiola than any other manager. He's beaten 5 times. And I say, Chris, for the league table, on, just so you can see there as well, as it stands now, we are 1 point behind City. They do have a game in hand. However, that is the Manchester derby, which is, you know, it isn't exactly a nailed on 3 points. Although Man United are pretty rubbish as well. City, obviously, it's a derby that they could easily lose that. So it is a big game for us. You know, if we do win this one,
this frames it all for me, because I think we put so much stock in that Burnley game. And John, I'll come to you in a sec with this when I finish talking for about 5 minutes straight without a breath, which is what I do on this show. Welcome new viewers. We so much the focus when we were playing Arsenal was already on Burnley. Now that we've got Burnley out the way, and whether it is the conclusive thing that we were looking for about how Liverpool handle teams down the lower league or not is irrelevant now for a few weeks, because Man City next, Everton after that. You look at the league table as it stands going into the weekend. You know, we are in the top 4, but the teams around us have got games in hand. This is the City are the last team in the top 6 that we're going to be playing this season. So with all that in mind, it's always a big game, because that's what happens when you play big teams. But a last opportunity for us to do what we've been doing so well this season and put ourselves in the strongest possible position by not just putting points on the board for us, but by robbing some off Man City as well.
Yeah, it's got to be the statement, I think, that defines the rest of the season for us. We've got to go out, and because ultimately, if we go out and draw, you know, and I think that's important. A draw or a loss at City doesn't help us in any way. We need to go out and take points off them and make them start thinking about people who are below them, like United and stuff. And you know, we've got a good record against them. We've definitely got a good record, as Steve was saying, in terms of the manager. Klopp seems to have the measure of a lot of Guardiola's teams, but the personnel we've got, you know, hopefully. It's looking like Firmino should be back in contention. He seems to always enjoy playing against City. Yeah. They're the type of team we thrive against. They're going to give us space and let us, you know, play in the middle of the park, which is what we like to do. And, you know, I think there's probably question marks, as much as there has been for us, there's question marks over their back 4. If you've got Lallana, Wijnaldum, you know, Mane and Coutinho coming at you from all angles, you know, it's hard enough for anyone, but when you've got these question marks over your defence, you know, it's a good game, you know, but we should be looking to win it. We shouldn't be going in thinking, let's draw. We should be going in thinking we can beat these.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, look, we will go into it with confidence, Jamie, because as the wonderfully prepared stat sheet told us just there, we've been great against these teams so far this season. Now, of course, that record and even our recent record against Man City, it counts for fuck all, because this is it's a one-off game of football. They're a very good team. They've got some very good players. They've got Sergio Aguero back in form as well. It sounds daft because you don't take big games lightly, but I'm keen for us to not be like, oh yeah, well, we always beat the big teams. You know, Liverpool are going to have to go there and they're going to have to scrap and they're going to have to battle and they're going to have to treat themselves not like they're a boss team. Go back to doing what we did last season. Go there, be the underdogs, be scrappy, get in the faces and win the way we know how to win best.
I think it is good that we are going into this in type of with the mentality saying like, oh, we've got a good record against the top 6 in the league. It is a good thing to have that as the mentality. But it can also backfire on you though. You can be overconfident and it'll shoot yourself in the arse. And we can easily lose this game 3-0, but we can easily win this game 3-0. It'll be one of those games. But their back four is shaky as like out of the top 6 teams, bar and Arsenal, their back four is really shaky, like without Company in there fit and consistent as it is. And if we start Firmino, Mane and Coutinho up front, Coutinho's on the best of forms, but if one of them does a little bit of magic, we'll be right in there and the game's ours.
Phil Coutinho, because again, you come back to the very top of the show, this is the perfect game for Phil Coutinho to play right now, which is bizarre because, and I'll qualify that, is that every time in Phil Coutinho's Liverpool career, we get to the point where we're thinking, it's been a bit shit here, and he really needs to kick on, and we've not seen enough for Coutinho. He comes into one of these big games, and he delivers. And again, you know, maybe he won't this time, but one or two things. If he wants to continue his development as a top-class player, he needs to get back to what he was doing at the first half of the season. And if nothing else, as we say, he has a tremendous track record of turning up in the big games and delivering for Liverpool. Be nice to see him do it again.
Absolutely, and last year at the Etihad he was fantastic. Him and Firmino just destroyed Man City in like 10-15 minutes, didn't he? Just absolutely put them to the sword. There was no own goal. Firmino got his tap in and stuff. Coutinho got his goal, I think I'm right in saying. We just battered them. So yeah, hopefully it is. Hopefully, players have teams who they just happen to do well against, and at the moment for him it's been City. Full-back's been an issue at times for City as well, more so left-back than right-back, which bodes well for Sadio Mane, you think, as well. But for all that being said, they've got absolute world-class players to go the other way, you know what I mean? So as much problems as our front three will cause them, a front three of Sané, Sterling and Aguero is, you know, it can...
Good that.
Very good, you know, there's Kevin De Bruyne, there's David Silva, they've got, you know, Yaya Toure, whoever they choose to play, they're in the exact same boat as us, where they've got world-class attackers, and they're coming into form, I think, under Pep. You know, they still have the odd iffy result, but they're much more consistent than they were early on, which is to be expected. But I don't mind them coming on to us. If they come on to us and they just turn it on and do what City do and blow us away, that can kind of happen. But by all means, come on to us, and if you want to, you know, leave Sadio Mane one-on-one with Gael Clichy, then you know all the best, and we'll you know, good luck with that, and we'll see what happens. So it's a very interesting game, and a point I disagree slightly with John said earlier. You know, a point, I think a point's a good result, but by all means we should be going to look to win. And if you beat these and you go 2 points above them, albeit, you know, with the game in hand, you've just dragged them into a race that they never expected to be in.
Yeah.
They very much expected to be in a race for first or maybe second. They didn't expect to be in, you know, we could come 60, we could come 50. Yeah. You just want to heap pressure on these teams. Arsenal are feeling it,
yeah,
and City are feeling it, and United aren't feeling it because they're kind of like an outsider now. Yeah. So and we're kind of like the new kids on the block again. We finished 8th last year, yeah, and now we're here. It's like, we'll just let's just cause havoc.
Yeah.
Let Wenger have the pressure, Pep have the pressure, and we'll just be us.
That's the thing. That's the thing for me, is that it comes down to. I've said it a couple of times in recent things. I want this season to be to about hope. I want to go in because look, we exist in a world where without knowing the exact variables on things like, you know, I think if we win our last 10 games, we'll probably finish second, just about finish top 4. But you know, we're going to drop points along the way. I would like this to just, but it's, as you say, it's the message of it all. There'll be people who are thinking, well, we win this, but we could go and lose to one of the other shit teams. Let's worry about that. Worry about that down the line. I've got no problem with worrying about those things, because we all will. That's life, innit? That's what being a football fan's all about these days. But no, I think for what it says to the rest of the league, you know what it is? It's sending a message to Manchester United, and it's sending a message to Arsenal more than anything else, because these are the teams where Man United keep winning, keep scoring goals, and yet they're perennially sixth place, that starts to wear on you, that starts to become grating. And when they've got cups to think about now that they've been knocked out the FA Cup, there will be naturally more focus on things like the Europa League and whatever. You want them thinking, oh, these keep winning. We're going to struggle to catch these. That kind of thing with Arsenal in turmoil. Again, just have them thinking we're not. You know, we're gonna. The fear of any mistake they make is going to cost them a place.
Harry Kane's injured, so there's pressure on top. You know, there's a lot going on, and what I would say is that Man City's the one team I think that this season Klopp has paid a lot of respect to. In every other game against these, the big teams, we just went for it. We just, United away to it. We went up early, and I must admit we did dog it out a bit. But at home against Man City, we very much scored and then defended resolutely and went for that type of victory. It'd be interesting if we do go up early. Would he do that again? Would he trust himself, or would he just try and absolutely blitzkrieg them and just bang 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 like we did last year? There's two schools of thought there, but it wouldn't be the worst game plan in the world just to try and dog it. But it's just we're not used to it. We're used to seeing Liverpool in these games just go, you know what, lads, let's just find a way. Let's just go, and you just don't trust our defence to be able to do it as much. It'll be interesting to see what the game plan is.
The attitude I think we can take into this game is massive, because I think it can go, and like we say, it can go one of two ways, but in terms of that front three, that's where the damage is. But Sterling seems to always go into his shell a bit when he plays us. If the team's on it and the fans on it in the ground when we get there, that you kind of negating him to some degree. Aguero, as great as he is, we seem to always contain him quite well. If you boot him, you can knock him in. Sane's a bit more of an unknown quantity, so there's a narrative to this game that could develop.
Yeah, just volleyed them.
Just volleyed them everywhere.
The thing about the games at the Etihad, and look, we haven't got a great record there. If I'm honest, we go back 10 years. It's only twice we've won there. But the thing, Jamie, about Man City and Man City's fans as well, and we saw this last year. We were at the game. We saw it firsthand. Their fan base are they're a bit like Everton fans into some extent. They are very easily turned back towards fatalist thinking, and you can see it by albeit we were 3-0 up, but their fans started to pour out of the stadium in the first half of that game, and we see it that they are very easily put towards this mindset. They very quickly turn to a defeatist attitude, and that's why Liverpool, I think, do need to go out there and go and get in the faces more than anything else, because you can win. You can not just put the players on the back foot, but if their players start to feel like they're losing the support of the home crowd as well, then it makes a more ideal situation for Liverpool to play.
I live with a Man City fan, and he absolutely despises the people that leave so early in the game, especially like when you were saying, and when we went 3-0 up at the Etihad last season, he hates it. And in terms of getting the fans on their back and even them fucking off out the stadium is a must, and it's a thing that we need to do more at away grounds, not just at Man City. Going to Chelsea and doing it when we went 2-0 up, the fans started turning against them. It's a big thing that we do need to do at the away grounds.
Yeah.
I don't mean to despise people. I still think at times Man City fans have got a mentality of when they used to be a bit rubbish. Yeah. So there's this typical. They've got they say typical City. Typical City, typical City have won 2 league titles in the last couple of years. So I'd love to be typical City. I'll take it, but they are, because they used to be in the second team in that City for a long while. They got relegated a couple of times. They've been in Division 2, so there is a mentality of them of here we go again. And I speak to them regularly with work and stuff, and they are sometimes very self-deprecating in times.
I love City fans.
Yeah, I think they're great, but they're very humble.
Yeah,
there's no arrogance about them, so they're not 2-0 down like Old Trafford. If you're in Old Trafford and you've beaten them 2-0, they think they're going to win 3-2. Man City fans think they're going to be 6-0. There is a difference on it, and I agree. It isn't the most hostile of places you go anyway as an away fan or as an away team. And if you start well, you very much can quiet the crowd. You can dominate that ground. We've done it. Yeah. You can take that ground and make it your own. You've just got to play well, because I keep going back to it. They've got unbelievable quality. We're almost at a stage where we walked into a Burnley game or a Swansea game going, no, we're going to lose this, or we're going to lose this. We're almost at a stage now where we all think it's a big game. We'll win. We're fine. And you've got it. It's great to have it. Yeah. Just keep it in check a little bit. Yeah. No, we should be as fans like that. Yeah. As players, they know that players know when you're playing against top. When you're playing against top players, know. And I'd trust Klopp in this week that we've had to have a game plan for them. Because what I've noticed in recent weeks, we have tweaked it slightly every game, so we went a bit more direct against Arsenal. You know, at Burnley, we kind of did a little bit the same. I'd be interested, you might do that with these, you might say, you know what, I think their centre-halves are crap, let's just boot it towards them, and let Firmino just make a menace of them, because Stones, Otamendi, whoever played, it probably will be those two. Decent players, but they're not exactly, walls, are they? You can very much get into them, so yeah. That's how I'd go about it.
I would be looking to test John Stones' positional sense, if I'm honest.
Well, I'd be all over Otamendi. I think he's rubbish. He's probably when we beat us 1-0, and he scores, someone's going to vine that.
But let's, before we get back into it, because we're going to talk a little bit about how we think Liverpool are going to line up and what have you, but trivia question this week. Last two City to Liverpool transfers were on a free. I want you to name them. Answers at the end of the show.
I got one straight away.
Yeah, okay.
City to Liverpool. Okay.
I'm not saying it.
Before we move on, let's have a quick word from our sponsors. Us.
We're going to read out the questions to you, and you've got to try and answer the questions. Liverpool's side Christian Ziga for Middlesbrough 2000. Which player was sold to Middlesbrough in 1999?
Okay, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Not really.
Lovren and Grujic, we talked about this on Reds News Roundup this week, Steve, which you can check out as ever. We've just done one advert, let's do another. Phenomenal. Always every week around the 60-minute mark, talking about Liverpool transfer news, ins and outs, etc., etc. Lovren and Grujic both featured for the under-23s. I still suspect it's too soon for Grujic from the Echo report. Good first half, fitness-wise, faded badly in the second, but Degsy Lovren, 75 minutes under his belt. We asked this question last week because we thought he'd be a lot closer, to be fair. Does Lovren go back? Does Lovren go back in? Is he good enough to go straight back in? Is he that good that he automatically commands a first 11 position, a la Mane, Coutinho, Firmino, Henderson?
In my head, or Klopp said.
For you,
I'd play Klavan. Klopp's going to play Lovren.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't. I think he likes him. I think he picks him every week when he's fit. He's gone out before, and Klavan's. We beat Leicester without him. Next week he comes back in. He comes back in. He picks him when he's fit. I would go Klavan, and I mentioned on the other show is that Lovren's better than Klavan. He is, but the difference isn't that big. We'd had risk, a winning partnership. We've had successive wins this year for the first time, which is mad. Klavan.
But this is the point. This is the point I'm driving at. Is that are we reaching this point in the season now where maybe he does think, he's struggled to get a first team, to find a first team centre back partnership all year,
I'm with you, mate.
And he's finally got one. What do you reckon? Steve reckons Klopp won't go for it, but.
I reckon. I mean, I agree with him to some extent. I think, like, in Klopp's mind, I think Lovren comes in because I think he sees Lovren and Mata as the first choice, and it's about maintaining that. But for me, if it was my decision, I think that you've got the international break coming. You're not going to lose Mata to anything now, and as far as I know, I don't think Lovren's going away to play any game. So if you're going to bring him back in, that's when you do it in training. You've got a week to get him ready for the next game. So I'd like to see him stick with Klavan. The other thing as well is that I think he doesn't what he lacks in pace, Klavan, which is a worry in terms of Sterling and Sané. Sure. I feel as if he might be able to do a bit of a job on Aguero. He seems to be quite good at staying tight to people and reading the game quite well, which is what you need in these kind of games.
Lovren isn't that good in space anyway. So City's threat, they're not going to, Lovren's, I think he's very good in the air, but they're not going to play that game. They're going to play it. They're going to go after the channel between Milner and whoever's playing there. And whether that's Klavan or Lovren, it doesn't make that. For me, it doesn't make that much difference.
But Jamie, is Lovren? He's faster than Klavan?
Yes, I would say he is.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
And I think one thing we should have learned from Burnley, please, that's what we did, was that exactly what you're talking about there. If you're going to exploit that channel, Klavan did struggle in the first half with that, and that we're talking about Andre Gray, aren't you? You're not talking about Aguero, Sané, Sterling.
Which is why we might, and I mentioned earlier, just be more defensive like we were in the home game. We might not be, near the centre circle. We might be halfway in our own half. We might be a bit deeper and say, you know what, Sané and Sterling's pace is frightening, and we don't trust Milner especially. Klein probably can deal with it to an extent. We don't trust our options to do it. It might be worth. And if you do that, then you might as well just play Clavan anyway, because he's not going to get outpaced from that deep.
There's something to be said for the balance as well of having the left footer there. I know it's a bit obvious, isn't it, Jay?
I think what it is, though, is that what helps Clavan in this case is that he's played against Arsenal and Burnley in a row. If it was Lucas in and out and then Clavan in and out, then I'd think Clavan would be in straight away. But since he's getting a little bit of minutes under his belt in the last few weeks, that helps Clavan's case. But I think Klopp will pick Lovren straight away.
I mean, this is the thing we've seen consistently. We not for spoilers for the starting 11 every week now, but we've found the equilibrium this season on that. Is that by and large the man picks. We know what his best 11 is, and if he can put as many of them on the pitch as possible, that's what he tends to go with.
I think very quick. John's point was a good one. Though, with an international break coming, if Lovren isn't 100% and you're risking him, he might. I don't think. For example, he risked Henderson at United because the drop-off he thought in his head was that massive. He thought, I can't play Chan here. And obviously we had injuries in front of him as well, didn't we? Was it? Sorry, it was Mane was out, wasn't it? Was it Mane out, so Lallana played on the right wing?
Mane was at the Africa Cup.
He was in Africa. So he had to force Henderson in. He doesn't really have to force Lovren in if he doesn't want to. And I think we do. One thing he has done, he likes players being 100% and having all the training sessions, doesn't he? So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think this could be. I know we've come. If you were to put money on it, Lovren would still be the safe bet because of everything we've seen so far this season. I just do feel this might be that this is as good an opportunity as any to say, you know what, we'll stick it out with you, mate, because I wouldn't say that Clavan's had significantly more bad games this season than Lovren, and he's certainly been there when we've needed him.
When we did the stat show last week, one of the questions that he tweeted in was statistically, how did the three of them compare? And actually, Clavan came off the best in terms of we've won the most games when he's played for us, which was a weird quirk.
That'll do for me. The Liverpool Echo raised this debate, and it's been therefore loads of people talking about it online. And when I first read it on the Echo, I was like, "What? Slow news day or what?" But they started a Klein versus Trent Alexander-Arnold debate. I don't think there's a debate to be had, if I'm perfectly honest. And this is no criticism of. This is neither criticism of Trent Alexander-Arnold, nor is it exceptional praise for the performances recently of Nathaniel Klein. It's just that, particularly with we're playing Man City away from home, there's just simply no way that Trent Alexander-Arnold comes in place of Nathaniel Klein.
For all, Trent played pretty well at United. They did target him, and Martial did have him.
Yeah.
Sané's better than Martial right now. That would be really harsh on the kid to say, you haven't played for a while, mate, go in, do us a favour, go and do a job on Leroy Sané. That is, it's borderline insane. It's just, I agree that Klein's, his productivity in the final third has been lacking. But, when you say, I'd take him out and play Trent, I don't mean to disparage a lot of viewers, and people might disagree with me. That, for me, that sounds like a lot of people who don't watch that much under 23s. Because even at under 23s, Trent gets done a bit. He's not the best. He's not a right back, so he's learning right back. So he does get beat. Not often, but enough. Leroy Sané would have him on toast. He just would.
Yeah. Well, there was a good point raised by again, it was Andy Kelly from the Echo was reporting on, and he was just saying Trent Alexander-Arnold was brilliant, and Klopp's there watching. Yeah. I mean, Jimmy, that's brilliant. He should be. Yeah. Because and they're saying he was the best player on the park. It's hard to do from right back. He should be the best player on the park because he's the only player out of that under-23 side, of the young player of that under-23 side, who's remotely close to getting, maybe even Woodburn, getting games for Liverpool. So that's to be expected. He should be the best player when every time he takes to the park there, and I would expect him to impress. But this is what it comes down to. Liverpool have always had this consistent problem of just wanting more attacking players in positions, and whenever we seem to try to go more attacking, that's when we tip too far, and it goes tits up, and we've seen that with Arbeloa to Glenn Johnson, we've seen that with Xabi Alonso to Alberto Aquilani. Not all perfect fits for what I'm talking about, but you get my point. Yeah,
especially with Trent, he's only 17, is he still 17? 17, yeah, he's a young lad, he's got many years ahead of him. But I was thinking about, I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but what the future of Conor Randall? I've seen that he's 22, 23. He hasn't featured at all. The 17-year-olds came in, took the right back place once Klein's been out injury. He did all right at United. What's the future all for Conor Randall? I don't think he'll be staying around in the summer.
I just think there's a debate. I think sometimes if you're playing someone crap at home, to bring Trent off the bench. You know, in the final, these aren't attacking us, and Klein keeps giving the ball away up front. Fine by all means. But in terms of who's the better right back right now, it's clearly in the final Klein.
Clearly, yeah.
I think the thing with it is like Trent, he's got a lot of qualities that Klein probably lacks, which is something I think we need
In the final third.
In the final third, and he's
Well,
looking.
he's an attacking mid, isn't he?
He
He
looks decent at set plays, but I could argue the case both ways to start him or not start him. Sané and Sterling forever good they are, and 28. They're not experienced, they're still quite young.
You're not putting them up against Figo or fucking Ronaldinho. You know what I mean?
The one thing I would say about it is that I think probably short of Henderson prior to this injury, I think Klein's probably played the most minutes for us, and I do think it's an issue of at some point he needs. I know we're getting into the back end of the season, but he probably needs a break.
I wonder what the thing is, because we did on this week's podcast, we talked about this notion of finding players who can play more games for Liverpool, and I wonder because the logic with Klein, he's played a lot. And it's just because no one else fucking plays that many games because we've got loads of crocs in our team. He must need a rest. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe we've just got a player who's actually quite fit. You know what I mean? Like, he stands out so much because we've got such poor options in terms of that. But sorry, the last point of it, I guess, is that there's definitely something to be said for having a right back who knows how to play right back.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I say, it's not as if we're going to play West Brom or Bournemouth or something. The City are one of the best teams in the league when it comes to attacking. I want a guy, the same people who like maybe want him rotated out are the same people who say Milner shouldn't be starting the left back because he's not solid enough defensively. Klein is that. You know what you're getting with Klein, you're getting 7s out of 10s, 8s.
We want Milner to defend better, and we want Klein to attack better. And then you bring Trent in, but then Trent defends a bit like Milner defends, and you're always
I think you can't. It's like anything. You go back to the old style 4-4-2. You rare to have like two proper wingers on things, and rare to have a dead attacker or 2 dead defensive fullbacks. You do you strike an off balance to some extent where you have you've got one winger, one guy cuts inside, you've got one attacking fullback and one more solid one. An ideal world, you'd have someone who could do it all. But we're not there right now. And
There's very few of them about.
Well, I think that Daniel Klein, the fact is, we've seen bits of it. I just think it's on him to get better. I don't think it's about throwing the baby out with the bathwater and going, let's throw an 18-year-old kid in and say, go on, you be better than a 7 out of 10, one of the most solid right backs in the Premier League. Hopefully he gets it. Hopefully there is a time and place. We might need that between now and the end of the season when we're coming up against teams that are more defensive minded. We need someone to be a bit more clinical, have a bit more end product in the final third. Trent's going to get his opportunity, hopefully, and hopefully he does. But right now, the Daniel Klein, I would just be saying to him, I want more, mate, because it's an option. He is banging on the door, and the more Trent puts those performances in the opportunities he's given, hopefully that will give Klein a kick up the arse and make him a better footy player.
I wouldn't be devastated if Trent had to play. At Old Trafford, I went devastated Trent because he's a good footballer. He really is. I just think of all the issues we've got, you're making another one that you probably don't need to make. If Nathaniel Klein was playing absolute crap,
then
exactly you go fine. But he's not. He's doing his job defensively. He's just in the final third. He's been lacking.
Yeah, you're right. If he'd been dog shit for like 3 or 4 games, you'd be like, you know what, bomb him out, give Trent a go. We'll be understanding if he's not great, because he's a kid, and then Klein can come in refreshed and revitalised or whatever. But you're right, it did feel like, and a lot of this comes off the back of Trent's impressive performance in the 23. So it's fine. I get the origins of the debate.
But no.
It just felt like, and God, we just spent fucking ages talking about it, but it did feel like it annoyed me. The origins of it felt like it came from, we've not really got anything else to do, so let's talk about this. We did. We had loads of things we could have talked about here, but yeah. Let's move on. Jamie, what do you think the score is going to be?
The score, I was settling on a draw, but I'll settle for 2-1 now.
If I had to settle for a score, I'd definitely settle on a win. Go on, John.
I think we'll win 3-1.
I think we're going to win.
Okay.
I'm quite confident. 4-1. I think.
Same score as last year.
Was it? I can't
4-1.
remember. I mean, I was there, but I don't remember it very well. I think we'll get it faster. I think we'll beat 2 up within 20. Okay. I think it'll be that type of game again.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I could see. I could. I mean, again, I could see. I I write things for a living and stuff like that. I could see any range of possibilities.
Oh, absolutely.
I wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me to see us be a bit more difficult than recent things, and maybe they do have an opener, and then we have to drive on and kick on and get something across the line. Like, but no, if we're going to win this game, Phil Coutinho's going to win it for us. I feel so. Yeah, 3-1 would do me spiffingly.
Don't get me wrong, I'll take it. Like.
Yeah. So the trivia question for this week was the last 2 City to Liverpool transfers were on a free. Can you name the 2 players? Jamie got the 1.
Bellamy and Fowler.
Jamie got the 2.
I had Colo in my head. Was he?
Oh shit, you're right. Hang on a second.
Every time.
LFC fucking history do this to me.
But then again, I think Colo might have got released and then we signed him, so maybe...
I thought, Bellamy, for me, it was Milner. Milner was the obvious one. I thought Bellamy and Fowler, it's one of those two.
Milner as well.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
last 4.
Yeah, Milner. I thought it was Milner and Torre. Like.
Yeah, that's mad.
Who did you have?
There you go. It's Bellamy and Fowler.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Is it? I can assure you, James Milner come on a free from Man City.
I just remember an interview with Dagley saying, like, if you've got any more players from Man City that you want to leave on a free, we'll take them. After he took Bellamy.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the thing though, that the contract's expired, so they didn't transfer from.
Didn't
so that's more like a Bosman than a free, maybe the terminology.
So we paid nothing. They basically
just give us him
because they did give us Robbie Fowler.
He was still under contract. Maybe it's that type. And Bella, yeah, maybe.
You're forgetting obviously the fact that Rodgers talked about how brilliant getting Milner was on a free from City, the player of that calibre. He had all that coming. So
yeah. So either I'm dead wrong.
I mean,
or LFChistory.net's dead wrong.
We got Milner for not from City, so it depends. Interpret free transfer how you wish. I would say not paying money for said transfer is a free transfer.
We got him from free agents. That's what we did.
Yeah, you
think about it.
Would you class that as a free transfer, as like he's agreed to join the club before his previous contract has expired?
Maybe we should speak to the writers of LFChistory.net as well. If you got me if I lost my job or didn't have my contract renewed, and then I was sat without no contract, and then someone else, because his contract there would have not been an overlap. You'd have to cancel your contract. What? Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
shit question. It's wrong one way or the other.
So there was 4.
What I take from it is that City, we've had some good players off City for no money, and they should probably sort the contract situations out.
Absolutely, all of the above. Okay, thank you very much for watching the Uncensored Match build-up show this week. If you want more great build-up content, you can. Jamie's done the FIFA predictor. Chris is doing the starting 11 prediction. And we've got some amazing content on the redmentv.com as well. Look, I know it's hard at times. There's a big graft on. We've got to get Liverpool through it. We've got to see Liverpool get some good results. But if you feel like you're struggling, you feel like you need someone to talk to, the redmentv.com, 3 exclusive subscriber shows every week. We're here for you. So go and check them out. Thanks. Thumb up, subscribe. See you there. Ta-ra.